All right, let's talk about the digital transformation happening in higher education. And I want to be clear from the start. This is way more than just new software or fancy gadgets. We're talking about a huge shift in how we teach, how our students learn, and honestly, how we can all feel a lot more empowered by it all. So let's dive into this journey together.
I want to start with just one number, but it's a big one, 92%. Just let that sink in. According to the research, that's how many future jobs are going to require some pretty advanced digital skills. This isn't some far-off prediction, you know? It's the world we are preparing our students for today.
Okay, so let's bring that giant number down to a more personal level. Just for a second, think about your own teaching this past week. How many digital tools did you use? One? Maybe two, maybe a bunch. Hey, there's no right answer here. It's not a test. It's just a little check-in, a place for us to start this conversation.
And that brings us right to our first section, the inevitable digital future. We're going to break down exactly why this is no longer some trend you can just opt out of. Nope, this is a fundamental change, and we all need to figure out how to navigate it.
So what's really pushing this whole thing forward? Well, it really boils down to four powerful forces. First, our students themselves have changed. Gen Z grew up with a smartphone in their hand. They expect learning to be flexible, interactive, on demand. Second, the job market is screaming for graduates with real digital skills. There's a huge gap that needs filling. Third, it's a global competition now. Universities are all trying to attract the best students, and digital innovation is a massive selling point. And finally, the tech itself. Wow, it's just exploding. Things like AI and VR are opening up possibilities in education we could have only dreamed of a few years back.
Okay, on to our second section, and this one really gets to the core of it all. We're talking about transformation, not just digitization. And trust me, that's a really important distinction that changes how we think about everything.
So, what's the real difference? Well, think about it like this. Digitization is simple. You take a paper book, you scan it, and presto, you have a PDF. The format changed, but it's still just a book. Digital transformation, on the other hand, is a whole different beast. It's about completely rethinking the entire educational process from the ground up, using technology to do things we couldn't do before.
Now, to help guide us through this, there's a really useful framework called the Digital Transformation Compass. Think of it as our map. It helps us focus on the four key areas we need to tackle all at once: the overall educational environment, the digital content we create, the digital skills we and our students need, and of course the infrastructure, the nuts and bolts that hold it all together. It makes sure we don't miss anything.
All right, enough theory. Let's get practical. Section 3 is all about your modern teaching toolkit. We're officially moving from the why to the how, giving you some real, concrete models and tools you can actually use.
A fantastic way to think about this is the SAM-R model. I love this. Think of it as a ladder. At the very bottom, you've got substitution. That's a simple swap, like typing an essay instead of writing it by hand. Climb up a step to augmentation, where tech adds a little something extra, like a spell checker. But here's where it gets exciting. The top two rungs are where the real change happens. Modification is when you actually redesign the task itself. And at the very top is redefinition, where technology lets you create assignments that were literally impossible before.
So what are the tools that help you climb that ladder? Well, just look at this. The modern professor's toolbox is absolutely packed. We're talking about the big learning management systems that run our courses, all the way down to cool interactive tools and even virtual labs. The main point here is that for just about any teaching challenge you can think of, there's probably a digital solution out there waiting for you.
And let's be honest, one of the biggest game changers in this toolkit is artificial intelligence. This isn't science fiction anymore. AI is a real, practical partner for us right now. It can crunch massive amounts of data for research, it can create personalized learning plans for every single student, and it can even help with assessment, giving quicker, better feedback.
Of course, any big journey like this is going to have some bumps on the road. So in Section 4, we need to be honest and talk about navigating the journey's challenges, because you can't overcome them if you don't acknowledge them first. These hurdles usually fall into about 4 buckets. You've got the technical stuff, not enough training or bad Wi-Fi. Then there are the psychological challenges, that totally natural feeling of, another new thing to learn, or the fear that you won't be good at it. On a bigger scale, you have organizational issues, like maybe your institution isn't really supporting the change. And finally, the academic challenges, like how do we even grade these new kinds of skills? All of these are completely real and valid concerns. But here is the most important thing I want you to remember. You are not alone in this.
This is the technology adoption curve. It's a classic model that shows people adopt new things at different speeds. Some of us are innovators, jumping on new things right away. Most of us are somewhere in the middle. The point is, wherever you are on this curve is okay. We're all on the journey, just at different spots.
And that brings us to our final, and I think most important section, your first step forward. This is where we stop talking about problems and start talking about possibilities. This is about what you can do next.
And the future we're moving toward is, well, it's pretty amazing. We're looking at a world where a hybrid education is the norm, taking the best of in-person and online, where we use data to actually understand how students are doing and help them succeed, where we can offer these flexible micro-credentials that the job market really wants, all happening on smart, connected campuses that just make the whole student experience better.
So, how do you get there? You don't have to do everything all at once. Seriously, just start with one small step. This week, maybe just try one new digital tool in one class. That's it. This month, maybe take one old lecture and make it interactive. This semester, you could try using that SAM-R model we talked about. It's all about progress, not perfection.
And please remember, you don't have to do this alone. There are so many resources out there to help you. Massive training courses on places like Coursera and edX, online communities where you can talk to other educators. There is a whole world of support waiting for you.
So, we'll end with this thought. The future of education isn't some far-off thing we're waiting for. It's being built right now, today, in every classroom, with every new tool we try, with every new idea we explore. It's happening. So, the only question left is, what's your role going to be?